We're back, baby. Welcome to the Discard Pile. I'm your host, John Corbett. It is Season 2, Episode 1. We're back after a, 3-4 month break. We're going to be on every month now on the monthly cycle, like your wife's bitchy attitude. It's February. I don't know. Fuck it. It's my birthday show. Birthday's coming up. Turning 35, so I'm finally officially old. I'm out of the 18 to 34 male demographic, so no more ads for Xboxes and whatever the fuck young guys do now. I don't know, Uber and shit. It's going to be nothing but boner pills and adult diapers for me. Our guest tonight, we have the North American Organized Play Director. Is that what it is, Mike? My old job?
Yeah, that'll work.
Is that the name for it? It was
me?
God damn it, Pat.
What's going on?
For a second.
What's going on?
Hold on, just shh. I was hoping, as you see behind, we got a new computer, I got a new setup, we got a new studio. Hopefully we got a little bit more quality. So that's the job, right, Mike? North American Organized Play.
Yes.
My other guest, once again, audio only. A year later, we can't get him. Can't get a video on him. Our returning champion, Pat Bortz. Welcome, Pat.
Yeah. Well, my camera's on, but apparently you can't see other than the picture they give you.
That's all right, Pat. At least you're trying. And our special guest is our band leader. He's got sound effects, all sorts of goofy shit. Johannes Klarhauser. Klarhauser? It's all right. Johannes, welcome, Johannes.
That's fine, yeah. Hi.
All right, I'm gonna get right to it, and I'm glad Johannes is here because I needed a European for this question because you had the terrorist attacks in Denmark and Copenhagen, and you got the marches going on in Germany, and it's a cheap joke to make fun of Germans marching or having whatever they're doing every week. You got anti-Muslim stuff in France. There's a rise in anti-Semitism. So my question is simple, and I want Johannes to answer it first. How much more racist is Europe than America?
That's a tough question. I can't really tell about America because when I'm there at best 3 weeks at most, and I haven't had any personal experiences with racism. So anything I get is from
Johannes,
the media.
you're a white dude. What kind of racist experiences you're expecting to happen? This is
No, I mean I've never heard anyone.
Get the crowds.
Yeah, no. You gotta understand. Everything I can tell you is what I got from the media, and as you can tell, we don't get Fox News over here. And I'd say what I get in the media here is pretty much what you would call leftist. So I'm not really the man to judge what's going on there. And as far as Europe is concerned, I don't think it's any worse than it was a couple of years ago. It's just that some guys are getting more organized, I guess, for whatever reason.
Yeah, but you have the soccer over there, and the soccer they're having a real big problem with the racism. So Mike, what do you think on that?
I don't think that Europe's any more quote unquote racist than the United States. I mean, we just do it in different ways, I guess you would say. I mean, you have Ferguson, you have the not really strangling stuff in New York. You have the entire state of Florida who's done. You can find a list of the strange things that have happened down there. You have stuff that's happened even in where I live now. It's just we have people who are simply, for lack of a better term, stupid when it comes to race, where they see it as a problem, or a religion, where they see that as a problem. There's going to be stupid people every single place you go. It's just a matter of how they do it. And in Europe, for example, in Denmark and Paris, you have people who are have a extensive criminal history, who said, "Oh well, I have guns. I hate these people. Let's do something about it." And then they go kill people. I mean, the same thing happens over here. I don't like you. We're going to kill you because of this. Do we get to hear why? No, because they usually get themselves killed before we can even get something definitive. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's always going to be stupid people, and whether it's because of race, religion, whether they don't like people who are gay, or just because you look at them funny. There's always going to be something that stupid people will do they'll get upset, and they take it in the worst possible way possible, and then we talk about it afterwards, because that's what we do.
Yeah, but we don't have synagogues getting bombed. I mean, we're about 50 years past church bombings and stuff like that. I mean, we had those in the South.
Bombings in the U.S. I love looking at this. It's fun. Let's see. I like looking up things. Well, at least not and by recent I mean the last 50 years, there hasn't been as many. That doesn't mean they just said instead of using bombs, they use guns. I can't really care which one is worse. They both have the same effect. They both kill people, and they're both bad.
I'll move on. Hopefully, we can clean up our technical problems we're seem to be having. I don't know. Maybe what's slowing down the Google lines this week. Johannes probably doesn't know. This got caught being a habitual bullshitter. Mike, how much of a sin is this? Like, should he be cast out forever for just being a bullshitter?
From reporting the news, I never say people are going to be cast out. I mean, hell, look at Charlie Sheen before 2.5 Men, or whether we've had people who committed all sorts of sins against the group, and that they always get a second chance. Maybe not in the same profession, but I mean, yeah, what he did was bad. Not in in the grand scheme of things, he basically, from all accounts, he basically made up stuff that made him look cooler, just like high school. That doesn't, but he's I mean, it's really, honestly, it's when it comes down to it, he's making a story that sounds better than it actually was, and it gets him laid. It's just like a club.
That's a good.
But the difference is he got caught. He got caught multiple times on national television, and you can't do that. So what will happen is you'll go away. He'll be out of the public limelight for a minimum of 6 months, but longer than that. And then he will come back in some other fashion, and he can do one of two different ways. He can either go with the Hugh Grant method, which is I make a fool of myself, but I go on a talk, like the Tonight Show, and basically a lot of people make fun of me, and then after 6 months I get back in and doing something else. Same thing can happen for him. It might not be necessarily on the anchor for the NBC Nightly News, but could I see him going to like MSNBC? Sure.
He's got to go. He's got to get demoted. He's got to go back to AAA.
Yeah, essentially, he has to basically redeem himself in the public eye, And once he's done that, then yeah, they will give him a quote-unquote second chance.
Well, it's funny you brought up the point about high school, and that was going to be my whole shtick on it. There's always that one guy, the habitual bullshitter, who was just always telling stories in high school. Always, always had a story for everything, and that's what it turns out. That's who Brian Williams was. And I'm a weird guy. I'm already officially old, turning 35, but I've always been a nightly news guy. I always watch the news. I'm weird. I like boxing. I like horse racing. I'm just a very old white guy. So when this guy got, he had the world in his hands. He was on SNL. He's on late night talk shows. He was absolutely crushing show business, and I don't think he can come back from this. In news, but when it comes down to it, news is kind of getting bullshitty. It's just not what it used to be. People don't want hard news. They want to watch their Netflix. They want to watch
there's no market for that anymore. Between Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, all of which have, last time I looked, all have better ratings for their quote-unquote network than does the NBC Nightly News or even Dateline. Yeah, why? Because they're infotainment, which is a really stupid phrase. But, it's not, hell, Fox News' whole thing is, we are fair and balanced. If you believe that, then great, you're our people.
Fox News slogan is we report, you decide. I'm watching news. I'm not deciding anything. I'm being informed. So the whole shtick, that's cable news. They know what they're selling at this point. And Johannes, do you have that over there? When I was only there for a couple days in Germany, and I didn't get a chance to see it. Do you have left news and right news over there?
Not to that extent, no. I guess for a European, I speak for my family. When we're in the United States, when we watch the news in a hotel room or whatever, it always seems to be there's always the feeling there's somebody putting some kind of spin around it, whereas we are used to a rather neutral, probably very, very boring style of reporting, and that also translates to the whole political business, I'd say, also to when elections are coming up, the way American politicians and also American newscasters are reporting. It's a very weird style for us. It's not something that's I'm not going to say it's not something that I can take seriously, but it's not something that I'd say the general public here would look at as serious news reporting.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it where you're from, Johannes, but where we're from, when you talk to somebody, you sit towards them, you son of a bitch. Turn your chair and talk to me. There we go. There we go. This is how we do it. It's in America.
Well,
it's all about talking.
The thing is, let me just see, because the camera fell from the monitor before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you argue, you got to get talking. It's all about talking heads. You got to be angry about
You want
something.
me to talk like this?
Yeah, there you go. Very good. All right,
Okay.
very Fox News. I like that. We're working on it. And I think we got the video cleaned up. I had to kick Pat out. His Western Pennsylvania polar vortex internet was fucking everything up. So the first 4 minutes of this show is probably just a blur. And in case it was messed up, we were talking about how much more racist is Europe than America. And my answer is a whole shitload. Because if you watch what happened with what's going on in soccer, especially in Italy, throwing bananas on the field, all the racist chants, and now all the bombings, it's way more racist over there. Our racism is like a scab. But going back to the news, and this just made me take a look at news, and it is a lot of it's just a lot of fluff now. I watched Meet the Press. I watch it on the repeat in the middle of the night because I work nights, and they spent 20 minutes talking about the Republican nominee and the primary. So they're basically talking about nothing. They're spending. This is Meet the Press. If you think that's the gold standard of news, that's the Cadillac, and they're talking about what ifs and shit. And in the nightly news, you get about 5 minutes of news, and then a whole lot of stories. And my last rant about news is, for the love of God, in America, I hope, Johannes, this doesn't happen in Europe, but for the love of God, please stop with the vaginal cream ads during the nightly news. At least 3 or 4 ads for vaginal. I don't want to hear the word vaginal cream when I'm eating, watching the news. It's fucking terrible. It was 10 years of
Actually, we don't have that, mainly because the 2 major news outlets are state-run, and they are not allowed to show ads after 8 o'clock, I believe. So when it's 8 o'clock, when it's news time, then there is no ads whatsoever.
Germany has state-run news networks?
Yeah.
It's not that big a country.
I know it's not a big country, but state-run news. You think Russia when I think of state-run news. I'm sure it's, what are you gonna do?
Well, it's just the traditional 2 news stations that started it all. Of course, we've got lots of private and public, privately run news stations as well. But I think there you can get some kind of cream ads. I don't watch those.
Well, it's all pharmaceutical ads over here in America. It's all old people and their ailments, and I don't know. That's a whole nother rant I can get into. It's dudes have to learn to get old. It's all low T and boner pills. You're not supposed to be 65 years old, jacked up like Vince McMahon, and walking around with a giant heart on. You get old. You got to slow it down and relax and just take it easy. Johannes, does Germany have gay marriage over there?
I think we do, yes.
You think we do? That must be good. It means it's such a non-issue over there. You're like, maybe. We don't care. But over here in America, Alabama is yet again on the wrong side of history. Like every other state, gay marriage has been ruled unconstitutional. But then the Chief Justice told the counties not to not release the licenses. So he's Chief Justice of the states saying, don't worry about what the federal courts say. And a lot of these judges in the local places, they're elected officials. And I noticed that when I moved to Texas. In America, in the South and the West, positions like judge and sheriff are elected, and that seems like a relic of the pioneer days. Mike, do you think positions like judges and sheriffs should be elected?
Would you rather them be appointed?
Yes, because they're appointed by the executive, and then they're approved by a legislative. That's how we do it that's how every other place that doesn't have elections for those positions does it. It's not unilateral.
Honestly, I don't care. I don't care how a judge is nominated, whether or not it's done by executive or it's done by an election, because you're gonna get a good judge or a bad judge either way, whether it's a crony.
You don't think it's more likely that a public would elect a dimwit judge more likely than someone nominated and then being approved?
Bush versus Gore. Next point.
That's not for judge. Oh, stop it!
Well, I mean, the principle is still the same. I mean, if it's going to be an election by people, no one really cares about judge elections. They're usually, at least in Oregon, because they're on the ballot. Because I was working at an arcade, I had the time. I would go through and see. Most of them always ran unopposed. It wasn't like it was hard. You have to have a law degree, and you have to put the money into the election to be on the ballot. That was it. So, and that's true for most of the states. Now, granted, some of the ones that are in the larger districts, like in Portland or Seattle or Montgomery, Alabama, etc., there's going to be an actual election where there's more than one person. But even so, do people really care who their judges are? No. But then you get to then you have the executive way. Okay, well, I'm newly elected governor of Alabama. I want to promote people who are looking to my state point of view. So if I don't want to have liberals, I will promote a conservative person for that area. And after all, if my legislative one matches my views as well, although that's kind of easy to do. So either way, it doesn't really. I mean, we don't really get a whole lot of quote unquote say because sometimes you don't really. There really isn't going to be a difference with which judge you end up with. And unfortunately, it's true for state judges. Can be true for federal judges, unless of course there's filibusters, but that's a whole other story. It's lame.
This topic is very American, so Johannes is probably going to fall asleep because it comes down to state sovereignty, and this is probably a concept. Johannes is going to get an American history lesson in here, because that's what they like to talk about here in the South, especially even the governor who just gave the State of a State address, who's kind of like a bizarro FDR. He's in a wheelchair, but he's all right wing, talking about borders and all this stuff, and then about the federal government telling Texas what to do, and the gist of it is states used to have a lot of power, and then that didn't work, and then we wrote the Constitution, and then we took away sovereignty. There's no mention of sovereignty in the Constitution. It's the sovereignty is we the people. The population of America is the sovereign, unlike England where it would be the king. So states basically, I mean, they have their rights like everything else, and then down here. Everyone, all of a sudden, especially with Obama and immigration thing, everyone's suddenly a constitutional lawyer. Everyone's an expert on constitutional law, but it's clear that federal law is the supreme law of the land. It means it supersedes anything the states do. So they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. So if the federal government says, hey, gay people are going to marry, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say about it. So, Alabama, once again, they don't know what they're doing.
Don't tell it to Ron Paul. Yes, Ron Paul actually was just either yesterday or the day before. He was actually at a conference called for Succession, the Wave of the Future, or something along those lines, where he's actually under the impression that after a while, states are simply going to ignore all federal laws and they'll just do what the states want to do, and then they will eventually succeed from the United States. And he's all for it.
I might have mentioned this on the show last year. My daughter had a teacher who was spouting something about Texas succeeding. They have the option to secede from the Union, and they don't. That was ruled on way back when after the Civil War. That states, once you join the Union, you do it in perpetuity. That's the end of that. So I told her to tell her teacher to I don't want to hear about that. Hear that talk anymore. I have to come to school and give that teacher a lesson. All right, let's change topics here.
Let me just clarify something, because when I said before, I think we have same-sex marriage. Technically, I think we do not. They're allowed to have a kind of legal partnership, which I think is not exactly the same rights. So we're not yet there yet.
You have civil unions, but you don't have marriage. Basically.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, we had that. A lot of states had that here for a while, and then they're starting one by one. The states are starting to. It's not like most countries where you can just make a law. In America, it's basically 50 laws. You need 50 laws for everything, which is good. I don't mind that part of it, but when the federal government says something, it is what it is. So Johannes, you're on the show tonight. You were saying that you're on holiday, because that's what you say over there, instead of vacation, but you're at home. You're not taking a staycation, are you? That's a bad epidemic that happens in America. Are you spending your holiday at home the whole time?
Basically, yes. I mean, it's just 1 week of school where it's kind of midterm. It's not enough time to make a trip or anything, and so basically I'm just sitting at home for 4 days and just doing day trips, whatever. Can't leave the cats alone for too long.
Are you taking a wife antiquing? Are you going? Do they do that over there? I don't know. Is that something they make?
The thing is, my wife isn't here because she's working a couple of 100 miles away.
Oh, so you're really on vacation. All right, there you go. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. I'm looking at my list of topics as we're going this, and I'm like, shit, that's really American. That's really American. That's really American. Let me go to a Trek topic. I asked some people to send in some writing questions And I got Iron Mike. I don't know who Iron Mike is. Some Australian. So we have questions. We have some questions from down under. We'll have this segment. And the first question is, I'll let Johannes tackle it first. Is there any way to redeem Khan and the In Hell team? It's Sod. Right away. Right away.
I haven't played Khan yet. Honestly, I've got no idea what's necessary to make that a working deck. Simply because I don't have the experience with it. And I like the concepts in theory, but I'm not sure that's it's workable with the limit that's on the getting the ship in play stuff and everything. I'm not sure that's something that can easily be improved.
So if you had an 8-ball, you say outlook not so good. Mike, what do you think about that?
Well, we'll preface this on the fact that the last time I played Khan, I couldn't get a dilemma underneath a mission because my opponent was playing with Corn labor shortage and the Seen and the Unseen, and yeah.
That might be
on that prefaces, I think my problem with them is that they were very slow. It takes a long time to get started, and if they have the right dilemmas at your first mission, it is pointy.
We know there's some rough edges. That's why the question is, can they be redeemed? Is there a way to redeem them? Any
of them can be redeemed. Do I know what it is? Hell no. But I mean, it would be nice if they had a way, convoluted or not, to get off of City Alpha 6 without solving the mission. It would be nice. I don't care, if it's.
That's kind of their. I don't know if
I know. But it would be nice to have a way to be able to stop more people than just one person. So then you don't have to tempt with 12, 13 people because your opponent is just being a dick.
All right, so you need a way to hide some people.
I would like a way to stop more people. So then I can still play my people, but even if I can't leave the planet, sure, they're still stopped, but then I don't have to tempt with a mega team over and over and over again. It's just lame.
The only time I played Khan is I cheesed it up and played Mouth of the Wormhole and Fort Cost of Wharf, the +1 Wharf, to get all the people jacked up. And so I never played the role in Hell. I had no desire to. I think if you ask this question, what you're really asking is there any way to redeem unnatural selection? And I don't know. I don't know if you can. I don't know how you redeem it. So I don't know. Maybe sometimes you just got to write off. It's like going to a casino. You lose, you just don't go back in. Just stay away.
But
it had adopted the whole authority.
I have to have that achievement, so I can't do that.
What was that, Johannes?
I think it was the set that had adopted authority, which is a great dilemma.
You're true. Right. You're absolutely right. You're right. One out of 54 ain't bad. So, all right. Our silly question sent to us is, and I love nerd-made events. I post up stuff because my 9-year-old is always who's going to win in a fight. So this one is who wins in a fight, Wesley or Nog? Mike, who you got?
Wesley.
All right, Johannes?
Wesley, no question about it.
You guys are fucking terrible. Nog is a war hero. He lost a fucking leg on the fucking AR 581619 fucking planet. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, Wesley can probably radio control his leg or something within 2 minutes.
Not to mention the fact that with Nog,
never lifted.
If you go to the head on Nog, granted he's shorter, but if you go to the head on Nog, just one blow right in the earlobe. Oh, he's punching in the nuts. I mean, seriously, it's just that bad. It's just.
I don't think Wesley could lift a 20-pound bag of potatoes.
He doesn't have to. He can just Wesley punch into an ear, and he wins.
Let me tell you something in real life, because in my years as in doing security, little guys are always the ones you don't want to get no scrap with. Little guys are tough. when I've got in this shit with little guys, you can't grab them. They get behind you. They're very slight. I'd rather fight a dude who's 6'2" than a guy who's 5'4" and a pain in the ass. All right, this is actually all right. Now we got a good question. I'll let Johannes get it first. Which HQ should get the new Bajor treatment next? Meaning a new HQ. Who would you give, Johannes?
Never thought about that, but I think Dominion might be something. I've got no idea how he could do it, but I think I'd like to see a new take on the Dominion.
Johannes must be the next prophet, because I can't answer this question because I kind of know what's coming up next. All right, Mike, who would you, without giving away your secrets, playtesting and whatnot, who would you pick next?
I would have to go with DS9 Earth. They're always like the ugly stepchild of all the Earths.
Yeah, but they just got a whole new keyword and a whole new mechanic. I mean, don't they?
I know. But I mean, I can't really see TNG. I mean, the TNG's so, used and abused. And I mean, if you just compare the number of decks that are actually in there between TNG and DS9 Earth, it's no contest. DS9 Earth has far fewer decks that were for it. So yeah, I'll give it to them.
I want to break down a fourth wall. And when you said new headquarters for TNG, but that would give away state secrets, and then Charlie, what am I going to get fired? But yeah, TNG is not the way to go. The next set is Dominion and Mouth of the Wormhole, and I'll give it away. I don't care. Charlie can yell at me later. One of those will be getting a new HQ. So the next question is it's real simple. What are your tips for regional season? We got regionals coming up, Mike. What would you? Someone ask you what to do. What would you tell them?
So like every other week.
Is that that's Justin? He's probably watching now.
I name no names, but quite honestly, I'll say the same thing I tell anyone. Play something you're comfortable with, that you know what you'll need to do, regardless of what the situation is. I mean, if you're comfortable with it, you're going to do far better than like, oh, I just threw this together. It might work, or AKA the Michael Van Breeman method of building decks. It might work, it might not, and you really don't want that for a regional.
Yeah, if you're not sure what to do, you go back to the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid, which would mean just play something fast and do what you got to do. Johannes, what would be your tips for a regional season?
I think what Michael said.
Hurry up, Johannes! Hurry up! Hurry up and answer the question. Oh, I'm sorry. I had a flashback. To FenCon. I apologize. It's funny. We can laugh about her now, right? God bless you, Johannes. I don't know, man. I would have been in jail. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Johannes. What were your tips for regional season?
Basically what Michael said. Play whatever you're comfortable with. To be honest, I don't care about regionals this year because going back to what you just said, I've decided to keep playing track on a big level, and I'm not going to run a regional this year, and I'm not sure I'm going to play in one. I don't know, Michael. I haven't seen any regional applications for Germany insofar. Have any come in?
Yes, there have been.
All right.
So is that? Do you want to know how many, or just?
No,
it's your job to know.
Well, no,
you're North American. Whatever. I should run an organized play for the love of God. Someone take over that.
If I remember correctly, last time I saw there was 7 or 8 for Europe at this point.
I mean, if one of them is close by, I might make the trip, but otherwise I probably won't bother this year.
I understand, Johannes. Need some decompression time after the debacle. But if I had a tip, I say play Ferengi because it's in Tier 1, players take the path of least resistance, which usually means downloading. And the next one up is Ferengi, I guess. They're just really fast. They're the best affiliation in my mind right now. Johannes clowned me with them day 2 at Worlds. Yeah, and play what you know. Don't try to be a hero. And our last write-in question from Down Under is the best and worst Bolian. I'm trying to think of any off the top of my head. Mike, who do you got? The best and worst Bolian.
Best worst. I don't know how exactly to put that in order. I don't like Rick simply because he's pink.
It was the light. It was just the light. It was just the light. He's not pink.
He is pink. The rest of them are blue, but he's pink, and that makes him the odd person out. Therefore, I don't like him.
All right, racist. You don't like pink?
Yeah.
You don't like Rick's because the color of his skin, Mike. I think Mike,
Yes.
Mike, that's. All right, racist Mike. All right, Johannes. Who do you got there?
How many Bolians do I know? I think I can only name 3. I'd say my favorite is Proctor.
There's 4.
Oh, Bokta. Yeah, there's 2 barbers. There's Bokta.
Rick's, Bacta, and the Academy Commandant that was in like the last set or something like that.
Yeah, but actually, wasn't there 2 barbers on Enterprise? There was another one too. There was another one. I don't know. I forget his name.
No.
Yeah, my answer is I don't care. I hate Bolians. Mike, I don't hate them because of the color of their skin. I hate them because they're just shitty characters. And if I'm going to nerd it up, there's actually one of the books, something bad's going to happen to the planet, so they all commit mass suicide. And I thought that was a happy ending. But
Your definition of happy ending and mine are vastly different.
Johannes, do they have Saturday Night Live over there?
No, we had something that attempted to be Saturday Night Live, I think 20 years ago or something like that.
They don't show it over there. They don't ever show it.
Maybe for people who spend money for the TV needs.
Yeah. All right. Well, they just had that. Well, so we have to leave another American topic then. They just had the 40th anniversary. So my question to you, Mike, is who's the best character and/or cast member?
Oh crap.
Yeah, Mike, this is a surprise question. This shit comes up last minute. Gotcha.
Okay. Favorite ones that I had growing up: Blues Brothers. The original, not this. John Belushi, not Jim. John Belushi.
Well, John died.
Man,
John died. Let it go. Jim had to step up and help out.
I know, but you specify Belushi, John.
I don't know about past characters. I can go on forever, but on the current cast, I forget her name already. I'm having a memory. I'm having an old man moment. Turning 35, my brain's starting to collapse. The blonde girl. Do you watch it currently, Mike?
Blonde from what time?
No, right now. No, the current cast. The blonde. She's all over the place now. She's really funny. She does an old Russian lady on Weekend Update, and I don't know. She's absolutely amazing. I'm mad, and I like the big girl. I like A.D. Bryant. She's cute. I like her. And I don't mind me a girl with some meat on her. All right, now another American. I think this is American. It's a new ritual, and I don't like it. When there's accidents on the highway, people start putting up these roadside memorials where the people crashed and they died. Does this happen in Germany, Johannes?
Ever since I can remember, I've seen wooden crosses next to the road. I don't know what kind of memorial you're talking about, but I remember them pretty much when I was 5 or 6 years old. They've always been there, yes.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I'm from Seaside, where you have to go over a wannabe mountain range, no matter how you leave, and you'll see about maybe 6 to a dozen crosses at any given time along the highway.
Well, it's starting to get. I mean, like if someone put up like a little cross or something, but it's starting to get ridiculous. I mean, you see like just people start putting candles and teddy bears and fancy stuff, and some
Well,
of
it
them.
depends on how recent it is. I mean, the sooner that is, the more likely you're going to see that. The older ones, not so much. Besides, animals usually take them.
Yeah, I mean, the dust up in Texas was someone put one up and then someone took it down, and then the people got all crazy because they took it down. But it's public property, so you can't be mad if you leave something there. I think it's an absurd ritual that people are doing now? Is that just me, or would you like? Let's try to make it more personal. If someone like Johannes, your wife died on the highway. God forbid, she died on the highway. Do you want to go back to the spot on the highway where your wife died?
Don't think I ever would. No.
Yeah, who wants to? Who would want to?
I mean,
That's not my thing.
I remember it must have been 5 or 6 years ago when we were hiking in the United Kingdom. We were hiking near the cliffs of Dover, and they had all those little crosses and flowers where people willingly jumped to their death. And at one point there were quite a few next to each other. That was a bit creepy because apparently people come back to the same spots and do that there.
So let me get this straight. There's a cliff in England where people. It's like the Golden. We had that here. It's the Golden Gate Bridge. There was a special how people would just keep jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. So there's a cliff in England where people do the same thing.
Or maybe just somebody has fun putting up crosses there and making it look as if.
Okay, so someone's just pumping.
Wow.
Someone's fucking around making jokes.
That's serial killer right there. Like, I mark another one.
I mean, it's not like they have railings or anything there. It just goes down, I don't know, 50 or 60 meters. Might be the wind. Can't hear anything.
Ditto.
I think we had an internet hiccup. Yeah, we had an internet. Probably this one probably on my end. I can get better equipment, better stuff to work with, but I can't handle. I can't improve Texas infrastructure. Yeah, Mike, you're not interested in anything like that? You think that's silly?
I don't care if people want to do that themselves. That's fine. I never will.
No, I'm not saying people don't have the right to do it. I'm saying I'm not saying of course they could do it. I'm saying you got to let people die. Like people who cares where the person like they're dead. The one people was like, oh well, we had them cremated, so we don't have any place. Like then why'd you have them cremated if it's important to you? Stuff their body and put it in your closet if you want to hang out with the dead person. I don't know. I think America has all sorts of
does weird things with their dead people. I mean, everyone does it differently. Our family, we do wakes where we have a party and most of them get drunk and they celebrate what their life was. I mean, that's how we do it. We don't really do the whole funeral thing. So, but I mean, I know people who do, and that's fine for them. Just not something I'll ever have to do. I don't drive.
I think people put too much stock in death, and then of course in the place on the side of a road. Mike, let's have an official question. I wasn't gonna get too official with Trek, but the Masters is supposed to be 4 a year, and I think we have 2 announced for 2015. Where the hell are the other 2 Masters?
First one is in Chicago. The 2 that you're asking about. First one's in Chicago. They haven't given me the exact addresses for them, but it's the first weekend of Chicago. The other one is in one of your favorite states of all time, Minnesota. And
I only went there once. I only went there once.
I know, that's why I said it's one of your favorite because you went there once. But that one they're working with Fantasy Flight to try and figure out a good weekend. Otherwise, they'll have to change it to a different venue. But that will probably be late October, early November.
The one in Minnesota, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we're gonna. I think it's -17 in Minnesota right now. But I harped on that last year. It's gonna be you can't have. It was 47 degrees and raining in July for Continentals this year. So I don't know if that's the best date. Mike, you're in the Pacific Northwest now. There's college basketball is a big deal, and unfortunately in February it's the worst time of year for American sports. Super Bowl's over. Ain't nothing going on. The disturbing trend in basketball is now it's the regular season, and then the crowd storming the court when their team has a big win. This is wrong, right? A regular season win, even if it's a good team, should the crowd be running onto the courts and celebrating like they won a championship?
Honestly, it depends on who you win against. If here's my example. If you beat Kentucky, currently undefeated for NCAA, and you take down Kentucky, yeah, you can storm the court. You take down the #1 team in the nation. Okay. I'm okay with that.
I would agree with that. If you
or in history, if we're going to go old school, let's how about Samson losing against Charlemagne, Virginia team, Division III school back when they had Division III, beat Ralph Sampson and University of Virginia in Maui. Strange. If you take out someone good, or my requirements are either someone #1 rated team or rival. Like, for example, if it's UCLA defeats USC.
Come on.
I'm okay with that. If it's every single time, that's just stupid.
There's got to be two things. One, you can't beat a ranked team and beat another ranked team. I don't care if you're even #1 team. You're already a good team. If you're an underdog and you beat a #1 late in the regular season, and that's like basically the highlight of your, all right, well, I'll forgive a crowd for doing it. But the other day it was like #18 team beat the #4 team, West Virginia, or some other lines, and you didn't win nothing. It's college basketball. You have to get through 2 tournaments before you even have a chance. Stop. College kids have to stop with that horse shit. All right, well, I'm done with official topics. Johannes, your girl Merkel was in America. She did a tour. How did that play over there? Did you fall asleep? You might have fell asleep with all American topics.
No, actually, I didn't actually notice that what she was doing. I saw her face in the news, but I usually don't listen anymore.
You don't listen to her? Well, she's been your chancellor for what? 27 years? How long has she been? Hell, George W. Bush was sexually harassing her.
Yeah. Sorry?
I said George W. was sexually harassing her one time. That had to be like 10 years ago. How long has she been running the show over there?
I don't know when she started. It feels like much too long now.
Hey, I'm glad Germans aren't on top of politics anymore. It's a good. And my last, off the top of my head.
Office, April 10th, 2000. Thank you, Wikipedia.
There you go. To the Google. Last thing, I'm just pulling out European news out of my ass. I did see that Greece. I think Greece tried to play the Nazi card on their economy because their economy is all fucked up. So they're like, Nazis one time did something bad. We don't want to have to pay money back. How's that playing over in Germany? That's basically what you got. You got the Scandinavian and then the Northern European countries that are industrious, hard-working, sort of scenes. Then you got the Mediterranean countries that are all like, hey, on the beach, let's take a vacation 4 months out of the year. And so that's the EU in my head. I could be wrong. So is that what's the dynamic there? How come Greece don't want to pay their money or don't want to? What's the problem?
Well, honestly, I don't really want to comment on that, mainly because my wife works on that. She's an economist and she has a lot of stuff on her hands with Greece at the moment. So I'm not going near the topic.
That's an economist. I'm gonna go on another. Economist is the only job where you could be. It's like a weatherman. You can be wrong half the time and still keep your job. I can't think of. Apologies to your wife, but I can't think of a more not worthless. I would say worthless. Such a I don't know. That job means nothing to be an economist because they're never right. They're always
insider for network news.
I see where you're coming from.
All right, Mike, you're going to Australia for Worlds.
Yes.
What's the over/under on the number of players?
Let's see, over/under. I'm going to go with 32. I like the number.
Wow, that'd be optimistic. What's this trip going to cost you, Mike? You and your wife. What's this going to run you?
Since we haven't paid for it yet, I can't answer the question.
Oh man, that's you're ducking me. You're ducking me. Organized play.
I'll put it this way: we don't have to pay for lodging, but we have to pay for the airfare.
All right. Good luck with that. I mean, God bless. You're lucky you don't have kids.
No,
all right, be back on.
There's a reason why we don't have kids.
Yeah. No. Well, no. That's why I'm trying to make the point. If you have kids, you can't make that trip. Even people who are making good money. And not just a working class stiff like me. Even people that make money, if you have kids, you can't make that trip. You can't justify spending that kind of money.
Because you can't put them in the cages underneath the plane.
Yeah, try to take a family of 4 to Australia. What's that going to cost you? $20,000? I don't even know what the math is on that. All right, that's it for the month. We'll be back next month, hopefully with some. I don't know what's going on. I don't think regional will start yet. So.
Not until April.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll thank my band leader Johannes Klarheiser. Hopefully he'll get the spirit back. He'll recharge his batteries for 2015. It doesn't get sad. Doesn't put a hit out on somebody, but who could blame him? Thanks to organized play director Michael Van Breeman, spelled M-E-N, not M-A-N. I got that down now. You're welcome, Mike. I'll try to do better next time. All right, like Greasy Ducato, I'm kicking you out of the discard pile. Good night.